All right, so today it's going to be more of a casual session. I want to give you some instruction for the first probably, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and just kind of give you some more ideas of what you can do and how this works. So I'll be letting people in, of course, over here, and we'll go ahead and get started. If you would, you can go ahead and join this Pear Deck presentation. If you want to open up a new slide, you'll be using it in just a minute, but the address is right here. I'll make that a little bit bigger. It's bit.ly/Pear Workshop. And that's a capital P and a capital W. So make sure that you type that in correctly so that you can get to the slide deck that I'm on. So I want to show you some problems here, some actual math problems, and just my take on how to make them interactive with Pear Deck. And you can take what I've done and go with it, or if you have a better way of doing things, that works out too. This is all about your content and your curriculum and how you want to set things up. So let's just share a couple things here. On my second slide deck, by the way, I haven't seen anybody pop up here, so hopefully y'all will get in soon. This is just a page where it has some help videos that are from the Pear Deck site, and then our videos that we've created through our FCPS OIT team, they are located at this site. So the Pear Deck instruction that I did the other day, gosh, it seems like just yesterday, but really it's a couple weeks ago, that is recorded right here, and you can get to it by clicking on this link. If you're still not sure about the basics, we will go over some of the basic stuff today, but you may need to watch this video if you haven't already, okay? This is Rachel.
Mr. Royce, can you put the bit.ly link back up again?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm going to put it in chat, and that will be just a little bit better. How about that? So,
perfect.
Yeah, I'll put it in chat there. All right. So anyway, so go to those resources if you haven't already. It looks like people are popping in. That's awesome. I want to talk to you about this. You have probably seen somebody, it may have been me, it may have been Ashley, it may have been Kelly, do an interactive Google Slides deck. And an interactive Google Slides deck is where the students can go in and they can move objects around, they can manipulate them, and they have editing access to the slide deck. And what that kind of looks like is something like this. So in this one right here, the directions are to drag the fractions under the correct tick mark on the ruler. So they would just, drag these around to the right place. And it's interactive, so it's easy for them to manipulate it. You can show this on the board, on the overhead projector, or, you can share it out so that they're working on their Chromebooks. However, that's working for you in hybrid mode, okay? They can do it as classwork, you can do it as group work, and so on. And here's another one. This is just adding integers. You may have seen this template before, where you put in an expression here, and then they use the manipulatives to actually figure out what the answer is and put the answer there. So those are interactive Google slide decks. That's a little bit different than what we have with the Pear Deck, and I just kind of want to make that choice or make that comparison for you so that you can see what we're talking about here. With interactive slides, you can create your own draggable object, and there's lots of choices. You just saw 2 of those, and there's so many more. With Pear Deck slides, your choices are a little bit more limited when you're choosing a draggable. I think draggable is probably the most popular choice. I think it's really great for math to do it. You may also want to do drawing, and we'll go through those types today. But the other thing is that Pear Deck lets you do this. It gives you options for when the students are actually doing the work. It can be student paced, so they do it inside their own classroom, or it can be instructor paced to where you lead them through. And that's typically what we'll see first, teachers doing first, is that they'll lead them through a Pear Deck because they may have questions that they need to have answered to continue on. And they may not get those resolved if you're using student paced first, okay? When I did my training, we did a little bit of both, so you could see what that looked like. For access, when you do like an interactive slide deck, either they need to have like an individual slide deck that you deploy through Google Classroom or through Canvas, their own slide deck that nobody else can get to, or you can do like a whole group slide deck with individual slides assigned to each student. So for example, if I go back to this one, maybe I have a slide deck that is full of this. There's 30 of these, and I assign it one to each student, okay? That would give every student editing rights to the slide deck. So there is some classroom management that you have to work with on that, but it can be done, okay? Now, through access through Pear Deck slides, you have a join code that the kids use. They go to joinpd.com and they can actually, give them that code, and that's how they join your slide deck. Now, that can be for asynchronous learning if they're doing student-paced, or it can be synchronous if you're doing instructor-paced. Now, the feedback is the one that I think is huge, okay? With an interactive slide deck, if you're doing it in class, together, you're presenting it on the projector or on the IFP or whatever you have in your room, then you're kind of seeing what they're doing and monitoring it. And you can kind of go over to a student and say, hey, I think you need to do this. What I was asking you to do is a little bit different than what you're doing. Kind of have that conversation. But oftentimes it's after turn-in. So they've already gone through the work. You're not able to go in there and give them the feedback that they need to do it correctly, or to make sure that they're doing it in an efficient way. Okay, oftentimes mathematics is finding that efficient way to do things, not the long way. But Pear Deck excels in this. So you can get instant feedback for student and teacher. Okay, you can give them feedback as a teacher while they're going through the Pear Deck. And you can also see, we did that overlay, and we also saw the individual screens before, and we said, you know what, that's a great way to go back and see which students you need to work with one-on-one. Okay, so I just want to make that differentiation. And now we'll go ahead and get into some examples here, okay? My thought here was this. Right now you have viewing rights to the slide deck. I was thinking that maybe if you came with ideas that you could create an idea and then copy and paste it into the slide deck in just a moment. So I'm going to go through some of these examples. What I've done is I've put like a section here. So we have homework check ideas, which I included one here. Actually, I included two. There's another one. And then here, if you're an elementary K through 2 teacher, I have some examples here that you can look at that we're going to go through. And I was hoping that maybe you could add your idea underneath this slide. Okay, if you're 3 through 5, we have some examples here as well. And then hopefully you can add some examples if you come up with one. Middle school is here, and then high school is here too. Okay, so I know high school, those may take a while to create. The elementary are just a little bit easier. So this is how I approach things. So let's look at this slide right here. This is content from actually the Pearson. So I went to Pearson, and Debbie and Allie talked about me including that in our presentation today. And this is just one of the, I think it's one of the assessment problems, is a digital quick check. I see that in my notes down here. It was the Realize 01-03. So this is just a problem that you could do something with. My thought is that you just want to make it interactive. It's very engaging for the kids, and then you get that instant feedback. So what we have to do is make this content. And right now, I just copied and pasted it from Pearson. Okay. I'm going to make this into a Pear Deck problem. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm thinking that I'm going to take this text up here, which shows the missing part of 8. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And then I want to cut these balloons up into different parts and put them in cells. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little bit of this work. I know this is a little time consuming, but I want to make sure that you understand how this all works. Okay, so I'm just going to type this out, which shows the missing part. Oops, hey, it corrected it for me. 8. Okay, and I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I like to put things at about 18 to 20 for the font size. Okay, now I'm going to create a table here, and it's going to be a 2x2 table. So I'm going to go to Insert, and then Table, and just make a 2x2. I like tables more than I should, and I apologize for that, but it's just a nice, neat way to put objects inside it. Okay. And I'm going to do this kind of quickly. So my resolution probably isn't going to be awesome, but it's going to work. Okay, it's just going to work today. So I'm going to use my snipping tool. And I love the snipping tool. It is my friend. I'm just going to cut these balloons out here. I'm going to copy them, and I'm going to paste them in here. So I'll put those right there. I'm going to make those a little bit larger to fill the screen. And remember, this is for K2. It's something very simple. Well, simple for adults, maybe not simple for K2s. I don't know. So let's look at getting the next clip here. And I got that. I'll copy it. We'll put that in here. I'm just doing a little Control V to paste that in there. Let's get the next set of balloons here. By the way, I always put my snipping tool down here in the taskbar, and that makes it really easy to get to. That's a tip that I love because otherwise you have to go search for it, and that's craziness. Nobody has time for that. So yeah, put it in your taskbar if you can. It's really easy to do. Yeah, put that there, and then I'll get my answer choice D, and I'll do a new snip. Copy. And I'll paste it there. Okay, so that took a little bit of time. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to snip these two balloons. Let's see, yeah, I'm going to snip those two balloons. And think about that for a second. And I'm going to take that and copy it. And paste. All right, that put it over there. That's fine. Now, I can get rid of this. Okay, I don't need that anymore. So I'm going to do balloons and a blank. So here we go. Let me move this over a little bit. Okay, I think that's going to grab everything here. And I'm going to take this and put that right there, and I'm going to add another text box. And I'm going to type in and blank. Okay, and let's see if I can make it lowercase. It likes to autocorrect for me. Okay, so now we have that, and it's easier for the kids to read. And what they're going to do here is they're just going to draw which one the answer is. So I probably need to put that direction in there. And so I'm going to put something in here right after this. Circle your answer. And now I'm going to make this as big as I can, so it's just one line. It's all about making it easy for the kids to read. Okay, and so now I'm done. Now, so that's the basics of how you create a slide. We're going to do a little bit more work on this in just a moment to make it a Pear Deck slide. Okay, now when we're creating the space, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, by the way. There is going to be a space at the bottom where Pear Deck will say something. Okay, they'll tell you what kind of slide it is, what the kids are supposed to do. It will give them a little bit of information. Okay, I'd also do this. I would clean this up a little bit. I would select this. Let's make it a different color so it's a little bit easier to read or to see for the kids. And now we're good to go. Okay, now let's look at the next section. So this one, this is a multiple choice question. So I can make a multiple choice question here too. It's pretty easy to do. So again, I'm going to insert. I won't do this a whole lot because I know y'all are getting the idea. I just want to show you a few examples. So I'm going to type this in. All right. And I'm going to say choose your answer, something like that. Okay. And now this is a little bit different. So I'm going to show you the Pear Deck question choices right now. And then we'll go back and tackle that other one. So I'm going to make this about 20. All right. And so this is what you do. So if you don't have Pear Deck installed already, okay, you go to add-ons, and then you go to get add-ons. And you find the Pear Deck, and mine is installed already, but you would just click on it and then choose install. It's really easy to do. Y'all are used to doing that. And then that add-on will appear here. Okay, I can go to Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on, and I can open the Pear Deck add-on. Now, I also have it showing here. I think that may be maybe an extension that shows there. I'm not real sure, but anyway, you can go to add-ons and Pear Deck for Google Slides right there. Okay, now let's look at these choices for our questions here. We have text, we have multiple choice, we have a number answer, we have a website. That website is, if it's a YouTube video, it may or may not embed, okay? It may just be where it's not an embeddable YouTube, even though you've done everything correctly. It may just make them pop out. And when I say pop out, it's going to open up a new tab and take them to YouTube, okay? If you wanted to do like virtual nerd, that's something that you could do on here too. It's probably just going to pop out into a different tab. They would watch the virtual nerd video, and then they would come back to their Pear Deck. Okay, now the next one, there's a draw and there's a draggable. So this one, I'm going to make it multiple choice. And I'm going to open this up. Hold on just a second. I'm going to duplicate this and put it over here so I can see it on my other screen. All right, I just want to make sure I can see what that question actually says on another screen here. All right, so I'm going to go to choice. Okay, so we're all middle school and high school today. Okay, well, that's good. I will finish that up, and Natalie, thanks for telling me. But we'll go ahead and add some choices here. It's going to be the same way in middle school and high school. The math may get a little bit more tricky typing it in, but that is definitely doable. So I'm going to look at this one. My first choice is 4 plus 3. Second choice is 5 plus 4. And then we got 2 plus 6. Okay, and then I have 4 choices here. So I want to go to add another. So click on add another to get another option. So I'll do 3 plus 3. And then I can update the slide. Okay. All right, so it's just kind of thinking. And notice it added a Pear Deck section on the bottom. And it tells the students what to do. Students choose an option. So that's what their multiple choice looks like. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this away because this will show the answers when they actually run the slide deck. Okay, so when they're going through with student paced, or if you're showing it instructor paced, it's going to show those answers as choices. You're not going to show that up here. You don't have to do that, okay, because we typed them in. All right, so let's look at this problem here. Let's make it Pear Deck-ish. It's not a Pear Deck yet because, well, it doesn't have that down here, does it? Okay, you got to make sure it has that bar down there. So this one I was going to have as a circle option, which is going to be draw. Okay, so you middle schooler and high schooler teachers, you're going to have some content where students can draw on. And again, the drawing can just be a choice, which is just an easier way for them to make their choice. Okay, I could have made this a multiple choice question. I don't have to do that because I can use the draw. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to click on draw here. And it's making it interactive. All right, and there wasn't any really choices for me to do on that one because they're just going to draw what the answer is. They're going to draw a circle around it according to this. So, all right, let's look at a few other things here. So those are Pear Deck now. Let's skip over to, I'll tell you what, I want to go over this one because I thought it's a pretty good example. This is another Pearson question. I did not notate where it was from, but it is 335 grade level content. And I just kind of mixed it up a little bit because with Pear Deck, you have quite a bit of space. I know when I was going through the Pearson, is one question per page. And there's a lot of white space, but you can fill that up since you're using slides. So I took this question right here and I made it into this question. So it's a little bit brighter, a little bit easier to see, but I also added some shapes in there, just some different ideas. And I changed it so it's a drawing question. So what they're going to do is circle which of the following is a possible number of polygons that Harold drew. And I wanted to kind of clean this up and show you a few things here too. If I go right here, I like to center my text inside the cell. So it's selecting that outside, so I'm going to send that back. Send that backward a little bit. Okay, now I can maybe, yeah, okay, now I can grab it. So once you grab this, I'm highlighting the table here. If you go to the alignment tool, you can go to center. You can also go center of the table horizontally as well. So I'm going to do that. And now all of those are centered. Why did I do that for? Because you want to think ahead of where the students will be drawing. If the text is up here, they're going to be drawing that text up here. They're going to be circling it. I want them to circle it more inside the cell itself, okay, if they're choosing to circle it. And then that way, when I'm looking at feedback, I can tell a little bit more better what that's going to look like and see who got the right answer and who didn't. It won't be as messy, okay? Because some students, even if the text is up here, they may circle this box, and then I'm not really sure if it's bleeding into the box below or not. Okay, so just things to think about. All right, let's look at this one. This is a middle school problem. It's a probability problem, so it's actually an assessment question. So instead of grabbing an assessment question and putting it inside here, I decided to make it a similar question. Instead of using t-shirts, I used cars, and I changed the numbers a little bit as well. And I also changed what I was looking for, whether it be a fraction or a percent. So I made this slide right here. So BOGO car sales, wouldn't it be awesome? Buy one, get one free. Has 5 red, 4 blue, so on. Circle probabilities below which are correct. So notice I put the probabilities in here. I added some percentages in here as well. And I actually added a 0 probability just to see if they knew what that meant. And notice everything is centered and it's easy to circle. It's going to be a drawing question. So what they'll do on this one, again, you'll just go to draw. And it's making it interactive. And notice I'm telling them to circle probabilities below which are correct, and it's a drawing problem. All right, I'm going to show a couple more examples, and then I'm going to let you kind of develop some of these on your own, okay? All right, so we talked about the virtual nerd. Again, you can just put that link in there, and it will pop them out so they can see that video that you want them to watch. So let's look at this high school problem. This was a geometry problem, and when I blew it up as a little bit blurry, again, you want to make sure that you make it nice and easy to read for the students. And, I hope that you all are working in PLCs and in teams to do these, because after you get this done, all you have to do is share it out with your peeps, and they make a copy of it. And all that Pear Deck information follows. So if you made this, into a draggable question, then all that information carries with, when they're copying this over so that they can use it in their classroom. So we don't have to work real hard to get these done. Work together as a team, and it should be, easy just to duplicate them and use them with your own class. So anyway, I kind of took this apart, redrew a few things, and it took a little time to redraw this. I did this inside slides. You probably would do it better maybe in Geometry or Sketchpad or something like that. But then I just put this information here, and it looks like I need to move that over a little bit. All right, perfect. And what they're going to do on this is, again, you can use the symbols if you want, or you can make it a drawing one. So let's make it a symbols one, and that's just going to be a little bit different. So we're going to make it a draggable here. Okay, and I'll show you the symbols that I'm talking about. So I'm going to click on draggable. And really for this, I only need like 3 objects that they can drag, because they're going to put yes, no, yes, or whatever that combination is. So they just need 3 things to drag. So let's look for those. Let's see if I can find a check mark or something like that. I don't really see anything like a check mark. Oh, there's one. So I can choose that right there. Now, that gives me 1 check mark because I've only done it once. I'm going to add another, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep them all red. And I'm going to add another. I'll choose the color again, make it all red. I only need 3. Now, right here, this is how big my check marks are appearing inside the slide deck. So I can decrease that size or I can increase it. Now, I probably want to make it so it fits inside that box. So something along that line right there is probably what I need. So I can update this slide. And when I make this active, I'll be able to see how big those check marks are. Okay. Now, I want to show one more before we let you go. Where is that one? Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're going to talk about that one. I'm showing this one because you can put numbers in here as choices. Okay, so again, I want to make this one a draggable, and I will show you how you can put numbers here for choices that they can move into, underlined slots or different places inside the slide deck. So I go to draggable here. And this time I'm going to choose a number. And I know what numbers I have to have, so I'm just going to throw in a few red herrings there to see if they choose those by accident. You know, you really have to test to see what they know, right? So I'm going to put a 1 in here. I'm going to add another. I'm going to change these all. I'm going to change these to blue because blue is a much better color right there. I'm going to change this to 2. Then I'm going to add another. Change this to 5. And change that to blue, add another. I need 2 more of these, it looks like. And make that blue, and 1 more. And that one has to be 8. So let's make that 8 and blue. Okay, now I have ran out of choices for draggables. You only have 5 draggables, right? That's your limit. Look how big the numbers are over here. So I want to change that slider to make it a little bit smaller, so that they could possibly fit into that underlined space. And I'll go to update slide. All right. All right, so let's look at a few of these, see what they look like. And this is going to be, I'm going to go through this a little quickly just to show you what it looks like here. So I'm going to start a lesson. And I'm going to make this student paste just so I can show you what it looks like on the student end. Remember that Pear Deck Basics video will show you how it looks on teacher end and student end. We covered some of that when I was doing the instruction a couple weeks ago. All right, got it, perfect. Now I can copy this link. That's the link if you want to make it self-paced that you can share into Canvas. All of you guys are using Canvas. So just copy that and paste it in there. There's also an integration, Pear Deck integration that you can do. Either one works. So let's copy this right now. And go to the teacher dashboard. And actually, I just want to show this as what a student looks like here. So I'm feeling pretty good today. Love that guy. He is the cutest ever. All right, so as a student, I can just kind of go through these and notice that there's nothing I can do on those. The ones that we created that were just slides, they're interactive slides. I didn't make them a Pear Deck. Okay, so there's nothing I can do there. It's just all viewing. Now let's look here. I can move this dot. And I can circle that one. Those are the problems I want to see. You saw those before. So let's look at this one. So, okay, which shows the missing part of 8. So I can go right here. I need to find one that has 6 balloons. And it looks like that is the answer right there. If that's too wide, I can always do the undo. And I can change over here the size of my drawing tool. Okay, and I can change the color. So I can just, I don't want to use red again because that's has a red border. Don't want to do that. Let's do blue. Okay, then I go to the next one. And notice the answer choices are here. I guess I could have left them here if I wanted to, but it wasn't necessary. It's your choice. So I'll choose this one. The answer is 6. I'm sorry, the answer is 2 plus 6. All right, fill in the blanks with numbers to make each number true. Okay, these are draggable numbers. Now I can tell that maybe the numbers need to be a little bit bigger. Okay, they kind of get lost here, and that's okay. And this is what you do. You have to try it out. You know, see what it looks like on your end before you give it to the students. So I can go back and make these a little bit bigger. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so you get the idea. You go back and circle these. All of this is showing up pretty well. Again, this is a drawing one. I can circle it and so forth. Here's this one with the check marks. I do not know these answers, but you all do. So I'm just going to put them in here, and we're just going to pretend those are right. Okay. So, and then when I'm done, I finish and all that stuff. But I just want to show you what it looks like on the student end. Okay. Now let's go back to that one question, and I'm going to show you it. It's right here. Perfect. So this is the one that I want to make the numbers a little bit larger. I just, again, choose what I was doing, which is a draggable slide. And if I forget, I can read down here to see what it says. Okay. Also in the notes at the bottom, the slide notes, it tells you what kind of slide it is. So click on draggable. And I'm going to slide this up here and make it a little bit bigger. Notice the numbers are getting larger, and keep it about right there. So it's pretty good size. Then it updates the slide, and then you're ready to go. So all of this is saved automatically. It's just great to do. Latanya had a question about negatives. I didn't see a choice where you could do negatives. So yeah, I'd have to kind of think about that. How else you can do negatives? There's probably somebody that's already figured that out, but I can think on that, Latanya, and let you know if I can figure that out. Natalie also mentioned that when you're posting these or sharing these, that you may want to do that on the Milk website, which is an awesome website, and share it there as well. So, all right, we have 4:50. We're going to end this at about 5:15. I'm going to give you all about 10 minutes, and this is what I want you to do. I'm going to open this up to edit in just a moment. But would you open up your own slide deck, and can you try to create your own slide that you think that would be good to share? Okay, and we're going to let people share in just a moment what they've created. If you have questions about how to do something, we'll try to figure it out. I don't know that Pear Deck has all the answers, but it has a lot of the answers for you guys that you can use with your content. So negatives may be a little bit difficult to have something for a draggable question because there just isn't a draggable negative number. But you can make it into a question that's multiple choice, or you can make it into something where they circle and you have the answers in there. Okay, so you just kind of have to think about, you know, how we can get this to work for us. Bye, Natalie. Take care. See ya. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck on the Suns basketball game. I get that. I miss those days, so enjoy. All right, so I'm going to give you about, we got 9 minutes, so 9 minutes. So open up a slide deck. Put some content in there. If you want to get into the Pearson and look through there, if you want to just Google something, you know, you still have my examples that you can look through here. A lot of these I just created myself. this is something I created. I got all these images off of Google Land, so they're all out there.
Mr. Royals, I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I've been watching your presentation on my cell phone and opened up just on Safari the two slides. If I'm going to create that on Pear Deck, though, do I need to get on my desktop and do the Pear Deck through my Google account?
Yes.
Okay.
You can be on a Chromebook or a laptop or PC, but you'll need to be on a PC, some kind of laptop device, computer. Yep. Make sure I answered all the questions here. I'll play a little bit of background music here, just to let you know that it's still live. I haven't gone anywhere. So,
Jerry, I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
How can I monitor students' work at the same time while they're working?
Well, when you
How can I monitor? Yes, it's when I do the live.
Right. So when you do the live, you're going to have a dashboard, and that dashboard will show you what the students are doing.
Okay.
So you'll have like a presentation screen.
Yes.
Okay, that they'll be watching, and that would be your Zoom screen. Okay, if you're still Zooming. Now I have another screen that I look at.
Okay.
And on that other screen, you have your Pear Deck dashboard, and that shows you. It shows you the same slide that you're looking at, but it also shows you what the students are doing.
Okay, because I successfully I asked you how do I embed the Desmos the other day, so I did it. Okay. But so let me share what I made.
Yeah, do you want to share it out? Please do.
Yes, I can share it with you. Yes. All right. So I can. Can you give me the permission to share?
There you go.
Thank you. This is I learned today. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Yes. Then after that, you taught me this one. How do I embed this one on the Desmos? So we did it, but I really wanted to monitor at the same time at the live.
Yes. So when you go live, now it looks like when you go live as a teacher, I'll show that to you real quick.
Yes. I know how to go live, but just monitor at the same time.
I got you. So let's see. Let me share my screen here. And so when I start a lesson, I always like to start at the beginning because that makes me feel better. I don't know why. So I'll go to start, and then I'll go to instructor pace activity. Okay, and it's just thinking through this. It's loading up. Okay, so it tells you, welcome to the teacher dashboard, and I say, got it. And then this is the join code, which is the same thing that the students are seeing. Okay, so they're seeing this presentation right here. Yes. I'm going to be looking at this over here on another screen. Okay, and so I can close that out. And now this right here, this is all of your controls. So let me make this a little bit bigger here. Let me close it out. So through this dashboard, when students are, notice as I'm selecting each of these slides, it's moving the bigger slide behind it. So this is where you control things.
Okay, I'll try, and then if I get lost, I will email you again.
Yes, anytime you want.
I'm using a lot in my class, and kids love this one.
Yeah. So when they are participating, I don't have anybody actually in this slide deck right now.
Yes.
When they're participating, you will see. Let me look. Hold on a second. Yeah, you will see like this is an overlay view. This is what I'm looking at. And
Yes.
this is a grid layout. So I'll see each individual kid's
Okay,
screen.
gotcha.
So this
I
is
have
where
to
you're monitoring their screen.
I need to open up new tab. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, this works really great if you have 2 screens.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So let me hop out of there.
Mr. Royals?
Yes.
I have a question. So I went to my Google Drive, and from the slides, I did the Pear Deck add-on. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so when I go to slides here, I'm not seeing on my screen the add-on.
If you click right here on add-ons, can you scroll down and do you see Pear Deck? And then open Pear Deck add-on.
I just went to slides from the Google Drive. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yep. So if you start at drive.google.com, and go to new, and then go to Google Slides right here. Click on that.
Okay. I didn't click on the actual plus to add a slide, so that's where I was messing up at.
Oh, okay, no worries.
And manage.
Go ahead.
Manage add-on. Or
have
no?
Have you added the Pear Deck yet?
Yeah. Yes, I've got it right here. Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on.
There you go. Yep.
And then open Pear Deck add-on.
There you go. That's exactly right.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure thing. Yeah. Just remember, everybody, that when you're adding those add-ons, follow you through Chrome. So you need to be logged into your Chrome browser, like I am, so that add-on shows for you. Okay. Okay. Does anybody have anything they can share, or any ideas of things that they thought of? Remember, there's no pressure here. If you don't have anything, that's totally okay. I'm fine. But I do want to give you a chance to share if you have something. I always think that Zoom wait time is a little bit different than classroom wait time, because you're not really sure, somebody's hustling to get something going, or if they're just like, so. All right, well, I will continue on then.
I can share what I did.
That'd be great, Sean. Let me stop sharing here.
I was just going to say, I'm actually logged on to your Zoom meeting cell phone, and then I'm on my desktop with the Pear Deck. I was just going to say, I found something that I would definitely use in my class: draw or type 2 things you already know about today's topic. And I think that's a great tool to use to begin class with, and kids are already getting in that mindset. Maybe I teach a lot of geometry, so maybe I knew something from middle school about polygons or segments, or whatever we're talking about that day. And I thought that was a really good slide that I definitely would use.
I think that's great. And kids, I know how it was, because they get tired of hearing this lovely voice that I have, and they want to hear other voices. and when kids can share with one another, that's just perfect. That's what we want to do. We want them to, share, and we're just facilitating in the background. So that's a great idea. All right. Well, I'm going to share with you guys one more thing. And again, hey, when y'all get stuck, just email me, and we'll set the time to Zoom, and we'll figure it out. And if we need one-on-one instruction, I'm there for you. Just let me know. So the last thing I want to share with you guys is, let me go to the Pear Deck again. There is some math content here. It's a little limited. It's not a full spectrum of things, but if you go to our template library here and then scroll down, by the way, all those things, like bell ringers and so forth, these are great ideas to kind of go through just to kind of think, you know, what can I use inside my classroom? And there are some good examples here. But anyway, go to subject areas, and you can go to littles for our K2s, which are not with us in this call, but that's okay. Go to math, and you can see some of these pre-made slides already that are created. If you look at these, none of these are difficult to make. I mean, these are just, you know, polygons put in there. You could drop those out from Sketchpad. These are just a bunch of lines that they put in there and duplicated it. You know, if I do this one like right here, you know, I like to cheat a lot when I'm creating things. I want to make it easier. So what I would do for this one, let me see if that's filled in okay. Yeah, if I don't want to use these numbers, then I would just pop, you know, I would go to Insert, Image, I like Insert Shape, and find me a rectangle. And if I want to use a different section of the number line instead of starting at the origin, then I could just put in a white box there, okay? And then I'm done. Then I can put in the numbers I want. So covering things up is a huge help for me, you know, if it's not exactly what I want. You know, like this one right here. Let's put that one in there. Just some ideas to get you started, guys. Throw that in there. If I want to just maybe focus, you know, on this, this is all active content. You know, maybe I want to make this a little bit smaller, and I'll copy it and I'll paste it over here. And maybe I want 3 graphs or something to talk about some, you know, subject or something, some kind of content. Then I can have 3 little graphs here and draw what I want. So just some different ideas, you know, use that snipping tool, use, you know, white objects to cover up things that you don't want to show, and then put your content on top of them. It's all good. You all know most of those things, but just some ideas for you. All right. I'm going to hang around. I know this is a smaller group now, so if you have questions individually, I'm glad to hang around for a little while and answer those. If you think of questions tomorrow that are like, I should have asked that, feel free to email me, and I can catch you on the email. But thanks for coming today. I appreciate it. And again, I'm here for you. Hope you do well with this, and I hope your kids enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. Broyles, for your help. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. Feel free to reach out to me if you need me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Jerry. This is Sonia.
Yeah. Hey, Sonia. Hey, thanks, Jeffrey.
I just chat with you. You know how we save our Zoom videos with the kids so they can go back? Is there any way that you could save this video right here? There's certain things that I was trying to keep up and whatnot, and I was playing with it.
Absolutely.
I would like to go back and review it.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, this is being recorded. I will post it at our FCPS NIT site where the other Pear Decks are.
Thank you.
Yep. Make sure you get the bit.ly, Sonia, if you haven't already.
I did.
All right, perfect. Yep, there's the bit.ly.
Outstanding, Jerry, like always. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Sonia. I appreciate it. Appreciate that very much.
Hey, Jerry, this is LaTanya.
Hey, LaTanya.
Did you already show how to do the Desmos on this?
Oh, I didn't. LaTanya, you got me. All right, let's do that. Let's do Desmos. So let's go to add-ons here, or Pear Deck, either one. And that is just one of the templates. And I think I just have to search for it, okay? So it's already a pre-made template. So let me go in here. Let me go to math. And yep, it's this one right here. Use the Desmos calculator to graph blah, blah, blah. Just a blank. So let it fill in here. So yeah, so what's going to happen is you'll type in your equation here. Let's say that you want them to show what y equals 3x minus 2 is. And I'm going to get rid of all those extra lines and make it a little bit prettier here. So hold on, got to pretty it up. There we go. So yeah, so on that one, what will happen is that Desmos calculator will open up full screen for them, and then they can, you know, use it to graph whatever they need to graph. Is that what you're looking for, LaTanya?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. When you try this out, be sure to do this. Just go to Start Lesson. And like I did before, go through the student paste. And get that link and just kind of try it yourself to see what that looks like. I'll do that real quick here. It won't take that long. Feel great still. All right, let's see. Yeah, there it is right there. So this is the question that I added, and see, this is where they can do their graphing and so forth. And then on the teacher end, you're going to see what their graph looks like on the dashboard that we were talking about with Kisan a few minutes ago. So I can type this in here, and the teacher is going to see this graph right here, or whatever problem you want them to solve, and then graph it. You know, you may give them an equation to solve for y first, and then they have to show their graph as part of their participation. Yeah, we have a Desmos expert. I mean, Susan McGrath, she's amazing with Desmos. I have a lot to learn from her. So, and I probably have a lot to learn from you all too. So I love Desmos. I'm just not an expert at it. All right. LaTanya, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, because I didn't know how to do that. And then,
yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's just in the templates.
And then if you have a graph you want them to draw on, because my next unit is doing like translations and reflections, do you just put a graph on there, like screenshot one or whatever, or snippet tool like that?
Yeah, so what I would do is, so this is a drawing one. And so on the, I should have left that in. Let's get that out. So let's say that you want them to graph something here. So you'd use this template, which is over here, one of these templates right here, or you can add your own graph. And I think I did that probably in some of the problems that I created. Maybe not. Yeah, I did this one. Like I did this where they just plot points, and I put in a graph that I got off the internet, and then I color coded it just because if you say use the blue dot, they may not be able to see the blue very well. So I made sure that the order pair in the word and the color are all the same. Okay, so on this one, they're just moving the blue dot to wherever that order pair is. Then they're using the purple heart. They're moving it to where it is, and so on. So you could do something like that. Or, let me go back up here. Hold on. Hope I'm not making y'all dizzy here. You can just make it a drawable slide. And on that drawable slide, they can draw freehand, but they can also choose a line to put in there. There's nothing fancy like a parabolic curve or anything like that, parabola. But there are where they can draw straight lines and move them around. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will send out a short survey to everybody tomorrow, and I hope y'all have a great night. Again, feel free to reach out to me anytime you need. Okay, take care, and I'll go ahead and sign off here.